Okay, so here it is. Not that Jag, but this Jag. This is a 1948 Jaguar Mark IV. This car, it was a very low production car made for the UK market in 1947 as a 1948 model year. This is a 1.5, so this has a slightly shorter bonnet or hood for us Americans than what the 2.5 and the 3.5 had. I will show you quickly here the engine, and then we'll walk around. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. We'll just give me 1 second here, and I've got a block of wood or a wood dowel here to put on it. There we go. So again, 1.5 liter. I bought this car off of Craigslist. When I bought it, it was missing the valve cover, and I had no history on anything about the car. Since I have owned the car, I sourced a valve cover. Also, it was missing a lot of the carburetor, which I sourced and assembled with the original carburetor. I was able to have enough piece parts to make it all work and got that going. I did have it running. Some of you have probably seen the video where I was actually driving the car over at my mom and dad's house, which is where I had the car stored when I purchased it. So it runs and drives, but I drove it to this property where I live. And when I did that, I found out that the transmission was not healthy, wasn't good in third gear specifically. Everything else was all right. Third gear was pretty growly and owly and noisy. I do have this piece of tin. This covers up the spare tire. I was working on the gas tank to remove it and clean it. And so that's why that piece of panel is not in there, but it is in the garage, protected to go back on the car. Unfortunately, just due to a comedy of errors and a lack of time, I never, for the last 3 months that it's been here, it's been sitting outside. It's not something I'm very proud of, but that is the size of it. I'm missing the sliding roof on the top there, and I had that covered, but we just had a bad storm, and so that's gotten blown off. Missing a few things like these exterior door handles. I have sourced those originals. They're not beautiful, but they are uh, on the car. I do have them for the car. Uh, so I removed the transmission, and that's what we've got now that the transmission's been removed. The bad weather hasn't done the dash any good. It wasn't cherry to begin with, but it's certainly worse for wear. And again, I'm not proud of that whatsoever. There's some of the tunnel and dash pieces. This is an original black car. I don't believe this is the original paint, but the interior of the car's interior color is not red originally. Aren't those neat door handles? And like I said, I do have the ones that were not on the car. Um, so this is what it looks like inside. The original interior color was brown, and I'm going to return the interior to that color because I just think it looks nicer. This red's a little garish for this car, in my opinion. So, uh, but everything's like present and accounted for in the dash. You know, we've got all the gauges and the ignition. I even got a Jaguar keychain for it. That's period correct. It's the right logo for that era. Um, and again, it runs and did drive, uh, but due to the issue with the transmission, I've taken a lot of things apart to get the transmission out. You see, it says 1.25 liter. These headlights are kind of interesting. They're not the correct headlights. Um, I have a set of P100s for it, which are the giant pizza plate size headlights, but they're not really correct for this car either. The 1.5 is supposed to have what they called a P80. So I had these other headlights here. They're Lucas and they're period correct. And I had bought these for my Rover, which is in the garage here. I think many of you may have seen one of my videos on that, but there's the front of the Rover, and you can see the headlights that it has. Incidentally, that's another Rover complete chassis that's been completely gone through from front to back. That Rover is going to reside on that other chassis as soon as I have the time to do it. But anyway, back to the Jag. Uh, Parts for the 1.5 transmission made by Standard Motor Company are really hard to come up with. And so I am going to just clean up the gears as best I can and put oil, gear oil back in it, and then put it together so that at least the car will be mobile the way it is. And even if I choose not to use third gear, at least the car will be drivable, which it's not right now. And I want to just clean this car up and enjoy it the way it is. Not even sure I'll put tires on it. I mean, I will at some point, but anyway, that's my Mark IV Jag. Oh, incidentally, you might think, well, gosh, what are you ever going to do about that roof section? So I have a bunch of the slide assembly and mechanism pieces from another Rover, actually from the chassis that when they had a body on it that I got when I purchased that chassis that you just looked at with the green engine. And I believe with those parts, I can make a new sliding roof for this. It won't be original, but it will be very similar. And anybody who doesn't know British cars will never even know the difference. So because this is absolutely unobtainable, unless by some stroke of a miracle you knew somebody that had one of these that was being parted out, um, I'll never have that correct section. So I might as well try to assemble the closest thing to it that I can, which is my intent. For those of you that don't know older British cars, this is called a semaphore. And when you flip the switch on the steering column, this pops up and has a light in the bottom of it. And that is your turn indicator. It doesn't flash, it just comes on steady. Let me show you uh, the same thing on the Rover. So right up there on the Rover, it has the same thing. And it's neat. It's pretty cool. When I'm done with both of these cars, I will retain the semaphores, and I will also be adding functional turn signals to the front and rear of the vehicle in a position that it will not be obvious that it didn't come that way. I've already sourced some period Lucas fixtures, which I plan to use for that purpose. So I'll go ahead and shut the hood now and get on to what I have to get done this afternoon. Actually, I'm heading to a band practice. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll talk to you on the next one.